run through the like classifications of Aquarius, like the genus, species, basically that rundown of astrology. And then we'll have like a description of Aquarius behaviors and Aquarius season and what that means. So Aquarius is a fixed air sign ruled by Saturn. Let's dissect that. Aquarius is the middle of winter. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius are all signs in the middle of their seasons. And that means that they are the essence of that season. They're dependable, they're loyal, and they are the epitome of what that season represents. So all the fixed signs are known for being stubborn and loyal. There's pros and there's cons. And Aquarius is the middle of winter. So it is the essence of cold, dry, but very like light, very active energy. It's not slow, it's not stagnant, it's cold, it is logical, it is the essence of winter essentially. Kill me. With it also being an air sign, there's this reaffirming quality of the intellectual and the conversational. What happens when you concentrate or you fix air? It becomes distilled, it becomes concentrated, it becomes an actual, like it goes from a conversation to an idea. It goes from just jumping back and forth into an actual social ecosystem. This is why Aquarius is associated with social movements or with structures in society, because it's taking ideas that people are bouncing off of one another and putting them into an actual structure that can support reality. And this feeds into Aquarius being ruled by Saturn. Each sign is ruled by a planet. I'm now realizing that this camera angle is like horrendous. So Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, which is a planet of boundaries, limits, and of structures. And Capricorn is the other sign ruled by Saturn, but Capricorn is the feminine manifestation of Saturn, versus Aquarius is the masculine manifestation of Saturn. And the difference between feminine signs and masculine signs, for one, is that all air and fire are masculine and all earth and water are feminine. It simply has to do with either being receptive and responsive as a feminine sign or active and assertive as a fire sign. There's some signs that are more receptive and some signs that are more go-getter, like put themselves out into the world kind of thing. Aquarius is a masculine sign because it's air, so it is therefore more direct, more assertive, and more linear than Capricorn, the other Saturn-ruled sign. Saturn is the planet of boundaries, and with its feminine sign of Capricorn, it is boundaries holding us in and protecting us, versus the boundaries for Aquarius are foundations that we build on top of. And I think this is the best metaphor possible for describing the behavior of both of these signs. Aquarius is more bottom-up boundaries of the support system that then we can build on top of. So Aquarius, for example, will take things that are issues or take things that are points to change and be like, okay, what is the structure that I can enact around me to others, so others can build on top of? That's where my joke around the Aquarius God complex comes in, because it's not as if Aquarians are like Leos, where it's like, me in front of the camera, I want to be seen. Aquarius wants the credit and it wants like the director role. Aquarius is the architect. That's the other word I use for Aquarius a lot. So Aquarius loves to see what they can change, enact a huge vision, and let the peasants do the busy work. You know you think like this. If you have Aquarius, you know you think like this. It's like, let me come up with the plan. No one else has the skills and the bird's eye view that I do. The people with the micromanagerial detail skills, they can do the actual tasks and the work. Not that Aquarius is lazy by any means. They're not at all. They're very intellectually fast. They just physically are not going to adapt, shift, or change in like menial work. So they act really well as architects, as directors, as people that make plans for things. They're not the person that I would want handling the details, because they're not going to give a fuck. They're going to take that energy that they could be spending on work and craft an entirely new system for some other thing they're more interested in. So the Aquarius upside is the ability to detach and see the entire perspective on things and have this beautiful view of like, no. This is actually in the grand scheme of things. Like if I want perspective on a problem, I will go to an Aquarius and be like, hey, what's your take on this? Because they'll often have a more bird's eye view. But Aquariuses overall are great to have in groups because, like I said, they're great at acting as, I don't want to say the abrupt leader. They're much more like, let me provide the capital or let me make the calls.
Aquarius is the fixed air sign. And so back to recap on fixed. Fixed wants to bring value, meaning, and purpose. It wants to really do something with the energy. So when we think about the air element, social, intellectual, what does it mean to bring value, meaning, and purpose to those areas? Well, this is where we naturally step into causes, innovation, progression for society, right? Things that make life better for humanity, stepping up, stepping in, sitting in, all these things that Aquarius is known for. It doesn't just want to have the idea and then amass more information. It wants to know, what are we going to do with that information? How is that information going to bring value, meaning, and purpose that we can prove? All the fixed signs, they have growing and generating power. So this is why when we think about Aquarius networking, right? Working with communities or working with technology, working with things across great distances sometimes to bring all the energy together and do something with it. Now, Aquarius is also about liberation, right? It comes after the sign Capricorn. And so there is a certain element in Aquarius that's reacting to Capricorn. And Capricorn, of course, it likes the hierarchy and it likes the rules and the regulations. But when we decide this is the rule or the regulation or this is how it has to happen, and that no longer actually works, it's old, it's crystallized, it's stuck, then Aquarius comes and it wants to break down that structure, right? It wants to free itself and life up to move in a more authentic direction to where there can actually be growth. Because Aquarius is the water bringer, not a water sign, the water bringer, right? It brings water and to actually rehydrate and bring life back to what has become too dry and what needs to bring back the hope and inspiration. And it wants to see those shifts and changes happen. And it also is the sign, it's the opposite sign or the polarity to Leo. So Leo is about the center of the solar system, right? Or the center of self, right? Aquarius is the polarity or the opposite. So it is about the entire cosmos or the whole solar system working together, which is really beautiful. And that Aquarian energy is that ability to send and receive that intelligence and that information in that way where everything is working together. It can be also with Aquarius a sense of oftentimes very intelligent or tuned into kind of future, innovative, inventive things, futuristic mind.
First of all, let's describe what are we going to discuss. We're going to discuss the main characteristics, both positive and negative, for the archetype of Aquarius. Let's begin with the symbol. This is the water bearer. They can think that because of that, Aquarius is a water sign, but that's not true. Aquarius is an air sign, and this symbol of the water, the bearer of the water, represents the knowledge, the information that Aquarius can bring into the world. Air is related to the intellect, the mind, our way of thinking, our way of connection, and these are some very important things for Aquarius. They define their major necessities and also strengths when it comes to intellectual work or ideas or finding new concepts. That's where Aquarius feel most comfortable. And some of their major strengths are related to seeing things in perspective, seeing or visualizing things far away in the future. They may have some genius ideas, extraordinary ideas, or some very original solutions to other problems. So here are some of the most important keywords about Aquarius: ideals, freedom, future vision, also channeling ideas from the future. The other thing which can also be a great strength for Aquarius is their ability to bring the change.
Who are Aquariuses? So Aquariuses, they basically march to the beat of their own drums. Okay, they do whatever they want to do because they are visionaries. They want to make change, they are creative, and they want to improve the collective by doing something different. Okay, Aquariuses are the ones that growing up feel like they don't really fit in. They're different. They want to, push for change. They are always seeing a way of improving their environment and improving it for the collective as well. Okay? They see flaws in the current system and they're pushing for change. This is like one of the strongest qualities of Aquariuses because they think differently. They analyze the situation on a different angle, and this is what basically makes them essential for change because they see flaws and then they push to correct them. Okay, they like to shake things up. They know what it is the society needs for a better future. Okay, they are really big into reform. They're like the mad scientists always doing experiences, like, they're gonna create like environmental protection group. They are really like those people that, are rebels and they want to make change happen. Another one of their qualities, they get people together to really make that change happen. So what is really important to understand about Aquarius is they want change to happen, but they want it to happen for everyone. They're really big into like the collective and society. So this is who Aquariuses are. They are like the black sheep of the collective, but the black sheep in a really good way. Okay, because they are the people that kind of like want to go against like the mainstream, the main current, and make that current better. They don't want to go against it just for the sake of complaining. They really want to go against the current because they strongly believe that there is a better way of doing things. So to sum it up, Aquariuses, they are the rebels of the zodiac. They want to do things their own ways because they strongly believe that their way is the way that is going to improve the collective for a better future. They want to get people together to make sure that things are changing and they are changing in a good way.
I don't know why Aquarius is my favorite sign because they're the best sign ever. I'm a Leo and we are sister signs. First fact about Aquarius is that they are the humanitarian. I'm rolling my eyes because that's literally the only thing people constantly annotate them with. I feel like they don't really talk about other qualities about that, but we'll get into it. They are a fixed sign. Fixed signs are your Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius. And they are an air sign, but they're known as the water bearer, which confuses everyone. They are a air sign and they are ruled by the planet Uranus. Uranus is kind of this planet of innovation, kind of seen as the planet of enlightenment, of progressiveness, of how we move forward as a society. And that's why I feel like Aquarius is so strongly associated with being like a humanitarian, because they are constantly needing to kind of get everyone to work systematically as a whole. They're very good with like big group settings or getting people to work together in a way. And I feel like this is why Aquarius is the humanitarian of the zodiac. 3 pros about Aquarius. So the first pro about Aquarius is that they are extremely unique, and I feel like this is also kind of a cliche statement, but it's true. You never really see an Aquarius that is very blending in with the crowd. I feel like every single Aquarius that you meet is so different from one another. You can never really say like one Aquarius is just like the rest, and I feel like that's probably why a lot of Aquarius content with astrology can be so hard for people to relate to. They're also extremely creative. They're kind of very bold and fearless in a lot of ways, in a lot of their beliefs, and they're the first person to like say what they stand for. If anything, they'll be very like accepting of your opinion, but they'll just respectfully disagree. And I really love that like peacefulness that they give off. They have this very like open energy of like, you can come and sit next to me and talk to me about anything you want, and I will listen and I will contribute. And it's just a really refreshing aura, I guess, that Aquarius has. And then second pro about Aquarius is that they are extremely they work well with people in a way that I feel like they can make anyone feel connected to or related to. They have a way of working or navigating through people so easily, and it's because they understand how people work. They're very they're very kind in a way. They see the whole picture, and they're quick to understand people, sometimes even better than they understand themselves. And it's because they're always looking at like a bigger picture instead of just like getting caught up in like minor details of someone for how they are or why they're being a certain way. And then third pro about Aquarius is that they're extremely intense, and I feel like they can be more so than Scorpio. I feel like they read people so well, and they're quick to just feel out a situation right off the bat. And when they believe in you or they have faith in something that you're saying or that you're doing, they will wholeheartedly pour themselves into whatever you're doing or whatever you need to be there for you. They're kind of like this advocate friend, and they're so quick to just pick you up and just like really take a stand for what they believe in. And if that's you, I feel like it's just such a warm feeling. And I feel like we don't talk about that enough because we're so quick to kind of associate Aquarius with this flighty, detached air sign mentality. But underneath this, they're extremely stubborn, extremely focused on being loyal to what they believe in and who they believe in. And I think they're just very skeptical. I feel like they're very guarded, so they are quick to keep a smaller circle of intimate people because they understand how people are. They love people and they appreciate people at a distance, but I feel like they understand the cons just as easily as the pros, and because of this, it's just easier for them to have a smaller circle. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they are wrong to do so. I feel like if anything, it's what keeps like their positive energy towards humanity as a whole alive, because it helps them kind of filter out negativity in a way that it won't cloud their judgment for future like endeavors.
So today I'm doing Aquarius 5 things. 1. If you've watched my other 5 things videos and you know I do a lot of 2 rolled into 1, well, Aquarius is pretty much the sign of 2 and 1s. Friendly but cold, open-minded but extremely stubborn. Just when you think you know an Aquarius, suddenly you don't. Aquariuses are very difficult to read and hard to get to know. They are, in my opinion, the enigmas of astrology. 2. So Aquarians are hard to read, but they will love to read you. You are just like a book to them. Aquariuses are very inquisitive. Almost anything can intrigue them. And they're definitely the types to ask probing questions.
What do you really think about this?
They have the ability to get you to open up without sharing anything about themselves. Aquarians are great at this, especially when they're fascinated. They love to people watch and learn about other people. 3. Aquariuses may seem to be friends with everyone. They may be the life of the party, the most outgoing person you know, but don't be fooled. Aquarius is rarely close to anyone, usually just select people. Again, they may seem warm on the surface and understanding when it comes to other people's emotions, but if the table turns, it is rare to see a very emotional Aquarius, if you see any emotion at all. 4. Aquariuses tend to be unique and original. They like to beat to their own drum and take the road less traveled and blah 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 blah. They can also be rebellious to a fault. They can be very open-minded and innovative, but once they make up their mind about something, that's pretty much it. They can be surprisingly stubborn, and their beliefs and opinions can become set in stone. They can be completely unwilling to change those beliefs and opinions. They can be confident and bold.
Today I'm talking about Aquarius. Aquarius is the fixed air sign, fixed being the sign that likes to build, likes to maintain. They're very kind of set in their ways, the fixed signs. And then air is the element that is sociable, the element that is intelligent, the element that is based in logic. In Aquarius, you have somebody who is actually brilliant, a sign that is very, very logic-based, governed by their brain rather than their emotions. You have people who are very, very unique, very, very out of the box. They think in ways that other people don't necessarily. The paradox of Aquarius is that they are very, very friendly. If you see them walking down the street and you wave, they're going to wave back. They're going to say hi. They're going to give you their full attention. They're going to make you feel very, very listened to. They're going to make you feel heard. But Aquarius is still very logic-oriented and very, very unemotional. Aquarius is very, very aware, more than other signs, of the collective unconscious, the connectedness of us all. They understand that each individual is a unique expression of source energy. Aquarius is much more likely to see humanity as a whole, see each person as being connected to them. And because of this, they're very humanitarian. They care a lot about other people, they care a lot about helping others, and that's why you feel heard when you talk to them. They very, very much care. And a lot of people think that Aquarius is not a very caring sign, but they care very deeply. Aquarius is a very unpredictable sign. They kind of tend to act on a whim. They can feel or behave one way in one moment, and then they kind of just do something totally random. They're a really random sign. They're a lot of fun because of this. They're really, really good friends to have. They'll always make sure that you have a good time because they're just so out of the box, so kind of crazy, just fun to be around. It's this unpredictability that they have that can make them kind of like the mad scientist. Like, the person who comes off as kind of eccentric, the person who comes off as a little bit crazy. People tend to overlook their brilliance because they're so zany. Their true intelligence can be overlooked, and it's one of those things to where it might not even be recognized until much later in life or even after they're dead. But they are very, very intelligent people, and they have sudden insights. Our modern ruler is Uranus, which is the planet of sudden insights, erratic behavior, sudden happenings, things that are totally unexpected. So Aquarius kind of behaves in that way. And there's almost like this feeling that they don't belong here because they're from somewhere else. And because of that, Aquarius people can feel very lonely, especially during the first part of their lives, before they've learned to recognize that their unique qualities, that's what sets them apart, that's what makes them special. Before they learn to recognize it as a strength, before they learn that it doesn't isolate you, it's what you have to contribute to the world, as opposed to what makes you weird.
It is officially Aquarius season. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about Aquarius sun with Aries moon. So I'm going to start off the video by talking about what a typical Aquarius sun is like. But now let's dive into Aquarius sun. So Aquarius suns are very easygoing, patient, unique, and intellectual. They're definitely the most opinionated air sign. Libra and Gemini, they tend to kind of be pretty airy about how much they stick to those opinions. Aquarius is a lot more opinionated, and they are a lot less likely to bend to other people's opinions and other people's like pressure to agree with them. Aquarius is far more likely to be opinionated and refuse to conform to what other people think. Aquarius is a little less like that. They're far more likely to stand firm in their opinions. The nice thing about Aquarius though is they tend to, like, despite their strong opinions, they tend to not be very judgmental. They don't easily get offended. Aquarius is not an emotional placement, and they're quite objective, and so they tend to have kind of a live and let live mentality. If someone has an opinion that's, say, very narrow-minded, or it kind of infringes on people's ability to be an individual and a free-thinking individual, then that's when Aquarius can be kind of stick up for people. They love to, Aquarius is a very rebellious placement, and they love to stand up for other people, and they love to stand up for causes. So you'll probably tend to see, like, if Aquarius is standing up for some kind of cause where they want to create change of some kind, it usually has to do with individuality and kind of unity. They want people to be able to stand up for like this this unity and this collective ideal of some kind. They do enjoy relationships with, like, of all kinds, romantic, friendship, otherwise. They enjoy getting to know lots of people, and they enjoy connecting with people. They get along really well, and the Aquarius sun is really easy to get along with. You know, they're the kind of people you can just hang out in their company. Like, they're the people that you could just like sit in silence with and actually enjoy their company. And you could do this if it has been like a year since you've seen them. You know, Aquarius suns don't need a lot of attention. They don't need to be in constant contact. But you can pick up where you left off even if it's been a long time since you've seen them. So I think the Aries moon makes the Aquarius sun a little less level-headed and run a little hotter, and they definitely get worked up more easily than Aquarius. This is a pairing that just really takes their freedom and their individuality and them getting to do what they want to do very seriously. They probably have really good leadership abilities because Aquarius is pretty good with people, and then Aries is very driven and will probably push Aquarius to reach new heights. Like I mentioned, Aquarius stands more firm in their opinions than the other two air signs in Libra and Gemini, but having the Aries moon will make them even more so very firm in their opinions and a little more self-assured. Like I mentioned, Aquarius is already pretty self-assured and already pretty confident and don't really care too much what other people think, but even more so with Aries.
Hi, my name is Alyssa. Today we're going to do Aquarius, and Aquarius is superpower. Aquarius has a power to live connecting everybody to everything else. In this case, I'm going to call them the network. Aquarius is not about blurred lines. Aquarius looks like a brain cell or the universe or the internet, a social network. Everything is connected. Even if they exist in other places, they're lifelines going from one to another. They really have the ability to take what Sagittarius tries to do and to put a completion stamp on it, because they go out into the world and they're like, hey, this isn't some information. This is exactly what you need. Bringing everyone together. And that's why they're the water bearer. They bring water to new lands. They build wells in areas that don't have them. And Aquarius does not try to expand anyone's mind. It gives people what they need, and Aquarius meets them where they're at. And an Aquarius loves hanging out with anyone, being with everyone, connecting to everyone, understanding and getting to know everyone. Aquarius knows exactly what people need to survive, and it all becomes a beautiful connection and sharing of gifts and love and treats and happiness and stories, and life changes. And then together as a community and as a group, everyone can grow, being with everyone, connecting to everyone, understanding and getting to know everyone.
Hi everyone, my name is Yael, and today I want to talk to you about the power of creativity and the principle of Aquarius. Oftentimes, very creative people find a lot of hardship in their life, and there's a reason for that. The creative process needs to come to points of difficulty in order for a new idea or a new process to rise up. So it's almost like a pressure pot on someone, but the idea is to push you until poof, you find an amazing solution. And that is why also, if we look at Aquarius and the Aquarius sign, because God or the creation wants to push them to be that innovator, that person that drives society to the next level.
The truth about Aquarius. I'm actually really excited to talk about Aquarians because they're very unique. I honestly think they may be one of the most unique signs in the zodiac. I love Aquarians, and I'm super excited to get into talking about you guys today. Aquarians are the water bearer, and that's always confusing to people. People always think it's a water sign, but actually you are an air sign. So Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and Saturn. It is also the planet of revolutionary vision. So people who are born with this ruling are extremely innovative and change makers in the world, are very powerful and very influential. And the symbol behind Aquarius, a lot of people don't understand, it's the water bearer, and that is actually because you bring things to others. Aquarians live to serve the world. They live to further humanity, help people. They're extremely huge humanitarians. Aquarians are extremely kind and generous and really care about humanity. They're normally involved in some type of charity work. They donate money a lot, something along those lines, even if it means serving or serving in like Habitat for Humanity or Doctors Without Borders or, you know, so many organizations. But a lot of them end up in careers where they're serving people, helping people, teaching people, interacting with people and impacting people. That's where an Aquarius really shines. They have the biggest biggest hearts, and all they want is to better the world because you're just different. You're funny, you're not afraid to act weird, you're not afraid to entertain people. Also very important to humanity. Their innovation and their inventions and their will to start something new, like they're all about bringing about a new change or creating something new. A lot of them are brilliant minds who are inventors and create things and have all these great ideas. They're also really, really smart. Not normally as book smart as they are world smart, and the world is their school forever. Like they're always wanting to learn, always looking into things, love to seek truth. Actually, Aquarians are known for being truth seekers. They're so comfortable to be around. They're so welcoming and non-judgmental. Can really vibe with pretty much any sign. Aquarians keep it real, guys, and that makes them so approachable. Like they might find people opening up to them super easily because they have this way of just making you feel welcome.
What is Aquarius? Aquarius is an air sign, mental, thinking, ideas. Air signs are masculine energy. They direct their energy outward, so they're very outgoing. Aquarius is also a fixed sign, so they want to love, feel passion, and attach themselves to people, things, and ideas. So, Aquarius is in the spiritual stage of astrology, is an air sign and a fixed sign. For them, expressing their soulful and cosmic ideas, thoughts, and knowledge in a communicative manner is all about the meaning of what life is. Aquarius is just as communicative and mental as the other air signs, Gemini and Libra, but because Aquarius is in the spiritual stage of astrology, seeing that big bird's eye view and a fixed energy, obsessing over things, have so much passion, and they're all or nothing with their energy. However, they're constantly thinking up the most innovative ideas. You see, Aquarius's big themes are community, friend groups, and standing out uniquely in a crowd. It's your typical air sign mentality. Seeing things from a mental perspective, seeing both sides and not getting emotions too much involved, for the purpose of staying open-minded and objective with ideas. This is why they are the humanitarians of the zodiac. They love to preach their spiritual messages to the world because they're passionate about oneness and community and also new ways of connecting with others. They always see the group mentality. How is this going to help everyone? How can the whole benefit? Because of this, Aquariuses are the friendliest sign in the zodiac. They love to keep expanding their community, their peer groups, and their friends.
He's analytical, free thinking, highly intelligent, and authentic. He is himself. He has his own thoughts, he has his own ideas. He also has a lot of interesting stuff to say and a lot of general knowledge, and you should be paying attention. They also fall into the category of signs that are facts over feelings, but they are very caring and extremely loyal. But they are unpredictable and they are free-spirited. Makes sense. They are an air sign, very rebellious. They don't like authority, and they march to the beat of their own drum. They march to the beat of their own drum. Like I said, they are very goal-driven people. Probably the most goal-driven air sign. They are visionaries. They're passionate. They work so hard because they care, because they have this vision, and they are so driven. Since they are so unique, genuinely want to make a difference in the world. They are also often very progressive. They have very steadfast morals, and they are stuck in these morals and want to improve the world in a progressive way. And they believe in innovation and just in general moving on as a society.
Aquarius, you are ruled by Uranus, the planet of the unpredictable, but also the planet of uniqueness and genius. And that is actually your superpower. You have more genius in you, you have more uniqueness than most people can access, but are you using it? Now, to be unique, it doesn't have to be solving all of the world's poverty problems or doing something like resolving the issues with the sea levels, although, to be honest with you, it's likely that it's an Aquarius that will ultimately solve that problem. when you are truly expressing your uniqueness and you are able to kind of almost see the future and predict where the world is going, when you put your mind to that, you have great success. You are a very generous spirited being. You know, they do say that we are all about to be in or are in the age of Aquarius now, and that's supposed to be a very enlightened age. That's because your energy is very enlightened. It's very non-judgmental. It's very accepting. It's very creative. It's all about making things happen and experiencing the new. There is always a part of your spirit that kind of embraces the world. You need to connect with different souls and different spirits to really kind of feel alive. You love experiencing ideas, you love that kind of the fascination with the world, and you're very, very kind of egalitarian. You want everybody to be one big brotherhood, sisterhood, one big peaceful unit. You're great at talking about things, you're a great teacher, you have great wisdom.
That brings water to people who don't have any, and that is the water bearer. So, bear with me as I go and tell you why I love Aquarians. If you're an Aquarius, you are the water bearer. People get this really confused and they start thinking that Aquarius is a water sign, but it's not. It is a person carrying water. Why are they carrying water? What is the most important necessity to a living, breathing thing? Water. So, in a place without water, the water bearer comes and brings water, which is why the humanitarian clause gets put on Aquarius a lot. Sometimes I think, like if I was going to be my own historian who's just going to pull information out of my ass, that Jesus Christ was actually an Aquarius because he had the ability to give people what they needed to hear, turn water into wine, make lots of bread out of less bread, whatever he had to do to give to the people to fulfill a need. Aquarians were sent here to fulfill others' needs because they have the power to do that. The metaphysical, physical, spiritual, mental, whatever power. And I cannot stress this enough to you Aquarians. You need to believe that. There's a reason. You walk through life and you feel that there's something you're supposed to do. You don't know what it is. But you're like, okay, well, I'm just smarter than everybody. I'm better than everybody. And you hold that to yourself. You can't do that. If you're smarter than everybody, why are you not teaching? If you're better than everybody, why are you not giving of yourself? If you have more than everybody, why are you not giving any of that away? If you have knowledge, why do you not share your knowledge? If you have spiritual ideas, why are these ideas not everywhere? Why do you hoard them? Because Aquarians, you can't fucking hoard your shit. That's not why you were created. I'm sorry. You were born in Aquarius. You have responsibility, and that is to be good to people. You were given a gift, which is a great gift. Aquarians are also air. They're communicators. They oftentimes, you can say that water is a metaphor for the ideas that they're supposed to communicate to the world. If they don't bring their ideas, the world will not change in the way that it needs to. The innovation will not happen. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, which is a very innovative, creative planet. A lots and lots of energy go in to Uranus, which is then transferred from Uranus to Aquarius. Aquarius has that power. It's innovation. It's why we are actually at the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
So let's talk about Aquarius now. Aquarius is the opposite sign of Leo, the 11th house, the 11th sign of the zodiac. Well, in traditional astrology, before Uranus was discovered, astrologers linked the sign of Aquarius with the planet Saturn, and it shared their planetary ruler. There's a lot of new things and very exciting discoveries going on with modern astrologers. There's a lot of unexpected things that happen whenever Uranus is involved. An air sign, so they're very intellectual. They're rebellious in nature. They don't want to conform to society because they are so innovative. Oh, they're both fixed signs. Leo and Aquarius are two of the fixed signs, which means their life has this stable, enduring quality about it. The reason why they're the water bearer is they are all about humanity, their fellow man. Aquarius has always been associated with the Greek myth Prometheus. They are extremely aware of society.
Today we're going to be talking about the second last zodiac of the group, and we're going to be talking about Aquarians, the water bearers, and we'll be discussing what is there in their minds, their bodies and their personalities, which actually makes them what they are. So what are we waiting for? Alright guys, so point number one, really clearly that Aquarians are born to save this world, hands down. You know, they are the die-hard humanitarians of this world, and they are just like those sleeper superheroes residing right in the middle of us, ekdam shant and totally undercover until and unless danger strikes, and when it does, they come out in the open with a bang. Alright, point number two. Now Aquarius, if you look into the birth chart, rules the house number 11th of the horoscope, which is the house of friends and network circle, and therefore you would see that these people have a huge and really huge set of friends and social circle which they go in and communicate with. You would observe that these people make connections and links very easily and comfortably, and they find it very, you know, it's cakewalk for them to influence people and gather huge masses and convince them and make them move in a direction that they are showing. Alright, moving on. Of Aquarians who would continuously be brainstorming and coming up with ideas like how to build an organization with 4 leave days and 3 working days, which would still be more successful than rest of the other organizations. But you see how an Aquarian always focuses on creating solutions about the problems that they are surrounded with, and this is their outstanding quality, which, you know, ends up making them the richest and the most successful people.
Today I'm going to be talking about Aquarius men. Aquarius men, let's see. They're straightforward. They'll say things from their heart, and they love to speak their mind. And they're very socially active. They're very active with lots and lots of people. They're not shy or quiet. They're probably just very to themselves, like thinking a lot. I guarantee they're not shy. They mean by what they say, by their words.
I once read that a great philosopher said that he received a sign that the Aquarius was the sign of the future. Aquarius are unpredictable. You never know what they're gonna do next. They can be very unorthodox, very original kind of people. They love to go against the crowd. They enjoy being different, which makes them trendsetters. Good luck changing the mind of an Aquarius. Oprah Winfrey will run out of money long before an Aquarius runs out of ideas. They're big on intellect and communication. They tend to have a very powerful mind. Like, they don't let their circumstances determine their success. And that comes from birth. It's naturally given to them. Aquarius work so hard that they become very successful. They're fine in their own reality. They don't need you to join them. It's not that they don't trust you, they just trust themselves a hell of a lot more. They're comfortable that way.
Hello, this is Michelle Knight, and this is all about Aquarius. Aquarius, you are ahead of your time. They say this is the age of Aquarius, and you have special skills to be a visionary in this time. You're one step ahead of the game. You have brilliant ideas. You are here to look at the world and come up with brilliant ideas. And if you didn't, who would? In fact, all of us evolve by some bright spark coming up with a new idea and thinking something out of the box, and your soul is programmed to do that. Never doubt yourself. Never let anyone tell you that you're strange or you shouldn't think different thoughts. That is the magic, joy and beauty of you. You refuse to fit in, and the other fabulous thing about you is you have a huge humanitarian heart. You want justice in the world. You want equal rights for everybody. You understand that we are all equal and we are all divine parts of the whole. All of us are special and unique. But that again is the brilliance and beauty of you, and what makes you such a wonderful human being and such a valuable member of society. Even if you're not understood now, you're doing a great job because you are a seeker of truth, and that's essential in our society.